Hey, what's up? What's up? How we doing out there?
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Trainer Talk Tuesdays. We are so glad to be here with you guys.
Yep, second Tuesday now coming. Hope you guys got a chance to see all the good stuff we kind of mentioned last week about a lot of what's to come in this series here that we are kind of kicking off. So, yeah, how you doing out there today? And jump in. We got a lot of good stuff to share with you. Want to talk to you about, some of our things that we do here, some of our ways, and let's get into it.
Yes. So we want to address how you can avoid the quarantine 15. So if you don't know what this is, if you're not familiar with it, the quarantine 15 is basically gaining 15 pounds during this shutdown that we're currently in. And a lot of people are going to fall victim to this, and we don't want you to do that. We don't want you to fall victim to the quarantine 15. We actually want to give you the tools to lose 15 pounds during this time if you are in a position where you need to lose that weight. So regardless, we do not want you to put on any fat or inflammation during this time. We want you to be the best version of yourself and to take this time to truly heal. And we have 4 pillars of wellness that are going to help you accomplish just that. So guys, the very first thing that you need to address if you want to avoid the quarantine 15 is your nutrition.
Yep.
It's your nutrition.
You heard it. What you put in determines what you get out, and this is always going to be the most difficult, part of your journey whenever you start to embark on that, fitness goal or that fitness journey, I should say, to say the least. And no matter what that is, even though due to the quarantine right now, you're stuck inside your home and there's not really a lot to do. So your nutrition is going to be a huge thing right now, making sure you're getting all the proper things in, still trying to get a lot of those essential nutrients and stuff, and so on and so on.
Guys, your nutrition is at least 70% of your results, and there's a lot of professionals out there that are going to argue it's even more, up to 80-90%. Okay.
Yeah. And that depends on you, who you are, what your goals is, and how disciplined you can be too. That's where that really stems from. But nutrition is going to be so
it's the majority.
So important.
Regardless, it is the majority of if you're going to be successful or not. And I know during this time, during lockdown, I've been hearing about a lot of people, since they're stuck in the house. Maybe some of you are in a bad position financially during this time that has impacted you that way. Maybe some of you know or are sick yourselves. So a lot of people are falling into a depression during this time, which can lead to a lot of emotional eating. People can eat out of depression, sadness, out of stress, out of boredom, okay? And definitely this quarantine may trigger all those emotions from you. So it's not abnormal to want to eat a lot of foods that maybe you don't typically eat, or that you don't eat to that capacity. And we want to help you to avoid that. So guys, we are here to encourage you. If you want to avoid the quarantine 15, you have to get in your fruits and vegetables, okay? This needs to be the primary bulk of what you're eating. And even if you do reach for that candy bar, you do reach for those sweets, at least we know that you already got those quality nutrients in that Nate was talking about. So make that your priority to get your fruits and vegetables in for the first half of the day. That way, regardless of how you're feeling later on, you at least know that you did something to put your body in the best position possible to handle this situation.
Yep. And a really great way that I like to talk to about a lot of clients that I work with and everything like that is to think of it this way. Fruits and vegetables and water is something that we're going to get into as well a little bit later on this nutritional side of things. Those things are what is vital to making your body function properly. So when it's talking about the functionality of your organs, things like your kidneys, your liver, your heart, your lungs, everything inside your body that makes you who you are, that gives you the breath of life, that makes you be able to get up, walk around, and still stay alive. Fruits and vegetables are the things that are going to be essential to keeping that going. So you got to be sure that you're getting all those things in, because as good as a lot of those salty and sweet and sour snacks can be, everything we eat out of the box and the bags, the things that aren't fresh and natural and those essential nutrients that we're talking about here, those things aren't going to continue to turn the wheel for you. They're going to hinder the wheel, slow it down for you, and then put you in a position to where now you're susceptible to getting sick and falling victim to a lot of the illnesses that we have faced with throughout all the years. Right now it's COVID-19, but you know all the other ones that we done seen throughout human history. So if you want to keep your body less susceptible to getting sick and in a stronger, just more alkaline state, fruits and vegetables are going to be the way to start. And think of it, another thing too, those are the only things that you can go out and you can find in nature, right? So I know we talk about grains too. That's an essential part, a certain amount there. You got to be careful in that, right? But when you can go out, a lot of the things you eat or should be things that you can go out and you can find right in the trees, right in the grass, like things that are essential. They were already put here for you a long time ago, and those are the things that's going to keep you alive and keep you living a good, healthy, quality life.
And guys, obviously do the best that you can during this quarantine time. Ideally, you are eating foods in their whole form, fresh fruits and vegetables. And honestly, now there is no better time than to be plant-based. And I say this because if you go to the stores, at least here in Indianapolis, you're still going to see the fresh fruits and vegetables. What you're not going to see a lot of are the frozen foods, the frozen vegetables, the frozen fruits, even canned goods. Those things are typically out of stock right now. You have to search for those. But the good thing is that you don't need to put those things in your body anyway. We prefer for you to eat whole foods. They are going to keep you healthy. They are going to make you less susceptible to getting sick. So we always are going to encourage that anyway. We want you to have things, as Nate mentioned, that are alkaline. So we want you to avoid acidic foods. Acidic foods, in simple terms, they are going to be like your processed foods. Even animal protein is considered acidic. So if you eat that, you want to limit your intake where you're not having it all day long, okay? Other things are avoiding the inflammatory foods or mucus-causing foods. And just to quickly go over those, that is going to be dairy, gluten, refined sugars, which is a big one, especially during this time, because anytime you eat any type of refined sugar, you will suppress your immune system for up to 5 hours afterwards, okay? So that's your starchy foods, your sugar in the form of like candy, cakes, cookies, okay? Alcohol and then caffeine. Alcohol and caffeine. So those are the 5 inflammatory foods. They will cause inflammation in the body. They will cause issues in the body long term. Some people are going to be more sensitive to those things than others, but all of them will cause inflammation in the body, and those are the things that we want to avoid. So again, in simple terms, that is your fruits and vegetables that you want to eat in abundance, particularly the whole foods, the fresh fruits and vegetables. You should be cutting them up yourselves and freezing them, or getting them prepared for however you are going to use them for that day, that week. So yes, nutrition is huge. And Nate mentioned your water intake, guys. So I'm gonna let him touch base on this, but obviously our bodies are primarily made out of water, so you need to be drinking it.
Yeah, exactly. So hydration, keeping your body hydrated, keeping your body less inflammatory. We always tell people that when they're first getting into their fitness journey, the first thing that is easier to control, the food is always going to be the harder thing to turn over, is to start getting more water in your diet right off the bat. Because you will see something that'll get you excited, something that'll kind of start getting you really motivated about the process, is that natural weight loss right from the start. Because a lot of you already, like, you can step on a scale now, you probably 10 to 15 pounds overweight than what you really are, and that's just because your body is dehydrated and you're eating a lot of inflammatory foods. So your body has to take all the different water that it has. The body is made up of, I can't come off the head right now how much water it's made up of, but we all know it's made up of a lot of water, right? So again, just like we said about the fruits and vegetables, you need to get a lot of that in. So whenever you're not giving your body enough, your body will compensate for it, store as much as it possibly can, so that you just don't fall over and croak over and pass out because you're dehydrated. So your body stores it, but once you start to give it some, your body will naturally flush that out, and then you'll move that water weight out, and you will see some weight loss, and that'll kind of get you excited about everything else to come, the working out, the changing of the eating habits and everything else. So you got to make sure that you're getting a lot of water in, and the best way to do that, because I just don't expect you to go out and grab a jug like this and just gulp it all down and drink it up, but it's to sip periodically. Don't wait until you're thirsty, but just sip naturally throughout the day, no matter what you're doing. Every few minutes or so, just take a small sip and just get your body slowly accustomed and adapted to having more water regularly. And then once you do that, your body will just not start to naturally crave it. Just like the same thing if you did with the foods. If you start to slowly enter and transition those things in, your body will start to naturally call for it. And I'm gonna speak a little bit more about this process that I'm talking about, but if you start to do a little bit here at a time, your body will slowly start to change over. So don't jump all in, just get you a bottle, start with a 16.9 fluid ounce standard water bottle, and just sip on that throughout the day. Don't wait until you're feeling dehydrated, just sip on it and just let your body get used to having water more regularly.
So rule of thumb, and you'll hear a lot of professionals throw this out, you need half your body weight in ounces of water a day, okay? And the misconception with this, is people think that that's all they need. Most likely, that's the minimum that you need, okay? So depending on how much you weigh, that's obviously gonna be your guideline, but I would say 9 times out of 10, people are going to need about a gallon of water a day, regardless of how much you weigh. Now, if you're an incredibly small person, small frame person, you don't really work out a lot, maybe you don't need that much. But for the most part, most people are going to need a gallon of water a day, because we're factoring in, obviously staying hydrated, we're factoring in potential foods that you're eating or drinks that you may be consuming that are dehydrating you more, so you have to make up for those things. We're factoring in where you live in the climate, or if it's during a season where it's hot outside, and your activity level, okay? A lot of things like this can affect your hydration level. So general speaking, you need a gallon of water a day, but listen to your body and kind of work your way up there if you're not ready to go all in with that gallon. And also, real quick, you don't need to drink anything else besides water, guys. I know you guys like to drink other things, but you don't need to drink anything else, and you don't need to put all this fancy stuff in your water. You really just need water, plain water. And spring water is naturally alkaline. It's going to be the best for you. So take that into consideration. You don't need to add all these fancy things to your water to make it taste good. If you don't like the taste of water, then that means that there is something within your body that we need to address, because you don't like something that is the most natural thing that you can give yourself. So guys, drink your water, drink it plain. Once you get to that point, then you can add real fruits into it for flavor, essential oils, real pure essential oils. But other than that, you really don't need anything else to drink. You don't need your coffee. Sorry, guys, you don't need your soda.
A lot of you seen that once you start drinking more water and you started the program. I know a few of you probably watch it now, some of the people that did Electrify Your Life the first time around. Once it was something that you were told that, hey, you can't have this, and you're restricted from it, to say, you seen that, you know what, it really isn't as vital to my daily routine as I thought it was. And to jump back in the water real quick, because this was just all coming to me as Larissa was just running this down to you guys, is that a lot of people are going to talk about water intoxication. Well, what if isn't this too much water? Like drinking a gallon or 2 gallons or so is too much. And yeah, that can be for some people, but you also got to consider the amount of time that it's taking you to drink that water. So if you go out and you get a gallon of water, you try to drink a gallon of water in 5 minutes, yeah, we're going to have to worry about water intoxication or something like that. But if you're just sipping and you're consuming a gallon of water throughout the entirety of 24 hours or 16 hours, whatever that looks like, that's not going to be a bad thing. And a lot of you can be working from a deficit where your body can be very deficient, very dehydrated, where you need to have a little bit more than what you're regularly gonna have once your body catches up to being dehydrated for so long. I remember as an athlete competing, I would never drink water. I would drink Powerade, Gatorade, that was it. If it wasn't Powerade or Gatorade, I wouldn't drink it. And I think like now, being a professional and being in the fitness world, and I'm over 30 now, I'm like, I don't know how I survived. I don't know how I was able to play and stay energized, and I wasn't, passing out.
We all know
I
it
can't do
catches
that
up with
now.
you. It's all downhill after 30. So
It catches up. So water intoxication, just remember, that's all I wanted to say. Just drink that water.
it's a real thing,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, it's a
the
real thing.
likelihood of it happening over the course of a normal day is unheard of.
Yeah, so again, just spread it out. Like I said initially, sip periodically, get you a standard water bottle, get you something. I got clients who get a big gallon and they mark it off so they can know, hey, drink this amount, and they can kind of follow along, and that works for them. Whatever works for you, just get it done. Just do it.
And let us know how you guys are doing with your nutrition. Go ahead and feel free to leave a comment and let us know what your biggest struggle is during this quarantine. But moving on, we are going to the second pillar of wellness, which is the second thing that's going to affect your results and your overall health and wellness during this time or any time, right? It's going to be your stress levels. And we know that the whole world is under a lot of stress right now, okay? Ourselves included, we get it. So, guys, I like to paint a picture here with your stress levels. I'm sure a lot of you have heard of the fight or flight response. And if you haven't, I'm gonna kind of give you a visual here to look into. So, when you are under any type of stress, your body is going to go into the fight or flight response, which is meaning that your natural personality is going to gravitate towards fighting the situation, or it's going to flee from the situation. It's going to run away from it, okay? And everybody's unique in this way. Now, if I was on a walk and a dog started chasing me, that is going to cause a certain level of stress in my life. I'm going to start running, okay? My body's going to release adrenaline. It's going to release cortisol, these different hormones that are supposed to respond to that level of stress that took place in my life. But I jump over the fence, I got away from the dog, my stress levels go down, my adrenaline goes down, my body normalizes, okay? That is how our bodies properly respond to normal levels of stress. Now, if you're the type of person probably like Nate, I'm gonna run away from the dog. Nate might try to fight the dog, all right, in the fight or flight response. So that same dog starts chasing Nate, and he goes and he punches the dog in the nose, and he like grabs it by its neck and like dominates it, all right? Same scenario, all right? His body releases those hormones. After the dog submits, those hormones normalize. Everything is good, we're fine. But what happens like when the whole world is on shutdown, like what we're currently experiencing, and there's ongoing stress for weeks, for months, potentially years? Who knows what the effects of this is going to cause, okay? So if it's a situation like what we are currently in, where you cannot control what is going on, you can't control if you lost your job, you can't control that your kids aren't in school, or that you don't have daycare anymore, okay? When things are out of your control, you have to develop strong stress management habits, okay? Because your body's gonna respond the same way, except it's gonna keep responding that way. So in my instance, for months, my body's gonna feel like it's constantly running away from that dog. And for months, Nate's body is going to feel like it's constantly throwing punches over and over and over again. And you can imagine how exhausting that could get. Okay, and regardless if you personally feel that stress or not, your body does, because it's releasing those hormones, and it's constantly working to try to normalize your body. So for a situation like this, you have to find ways to deal with that stress. And good stress relief management habits are things like what? Exercise?
Yep, exercise. I know a real good one I was just thinking of. I'm glad I didn't say this on the nutritional side, because that gave me some more to talk about here with the stress. But a really good way to release stress, I see a lot of athletes, pro athletes that can't play in their sports right now. They're talking about reading books and, getting into certain arts and crafts and things like that, drawing and, things like that is very time consuming, but takes a lot of patience, take a real calming mechanism. And you know what you guys can do? Meal prep. all those fresh fruits and vegetables that we were just telling you back on the last one that are still in the grocery store now is because you all went out and you brought up all the dry foods and all the frozen foods. You brought up all the water, so I know you got the water at home to drink now because I can't find it when I go out and look for it. So you got it all. Go out and get some of those fresh fruits and vegetables. Get you a fresh set of knives if you don't have any already, and learn how to start preparing you some foods. Get you some Instagram videos. You don't have to have anything too precise. You can learn anything off YouTube.
Go
learn a recipe. Skill. Go learn how to chop and learn how to skin a mango. You know, one of the craziest fruits that you can kind of skin and get access to, as good as they are. But learn how to use and get access to these fruits so you don't have to get them out of cans and out of bags all the time. Have them at their freshest state where the nutrient property in it is at its highest. You know, so you get all of those nutritional and vitamin aspects out of that fruit and that vegetable. And it's something you can learn, you can teach your children, you can do with your spouse if you're not doing it now. It takes time. Hell, the whole family can do it. Cook a big meal together. Then wait when Thanksgiving come around next year. I'm just saying, there's a lot of stuff you can do to relieve stress. You can't leave the house right now. Go out and get some fresh foods and learn how to prepare them. Now's a good time.
Especially for you parents at home who are having to homeschool, what better thing to teach your children than to, when it gets warm enough outside here, guys, and you know, maybe some of you live somewhere where you can already do this, but go take them to a garden and teach them, or decide that you're gonna make your own garden at home, okay? Like, have these little science projects, but teach them how to grow their own food. Then teach them how to chop up their own food and prepare their own food and cook their own food. Guys, what an amazing experience. That's true homeschooling, and that's gonna give them benefits that far outweigh and are going to outlive this coronavirus. That's going to prepare them for the future and their immune system for things like this when they take place, because there's going to be more viruses, guys, okay? There's going to be more things like this that come up down the line.
I mean, you all were thinking this is the apocalypse, and maybe it still is, but if you need to have real survival skills when it's all over, grocery stores and everything aren't going to be there. You're going to have to learn how to go out and slay your own meat if it's still out there, a wild animal. You're going to have to learn how to plant your own seeds and grow your own roots. So just something to think about. Those are real survival skills. Those are real tangible things that can translate into having a real good quality of life and keeping your stress levels at a minimum. Because again, this is about stress. So it's just something that can consume your time, something that is kind of an art in itself, because maybe you want to do it in a decorative manner, how you cut and how you do your food, whatever, instead of just getting to it. But it's still something you can learn to do. It's something that can consume your time and take your mind off of the madness.
Other stress relievers are going to be things, we mentioned exercise, but like prayer, meditation, essential oils, so aromatherapy, taking a nap, going on a walk, getting away for a minute. Even if you can't get away outside, if you can go in a different room in your home and just breathing exercises. All these things, like Nate mentioned, learning a different skill. Coloring, like they have adult coloring books for a reason, because it is a stress reliever for a lot of people. Being in a routine, especially when you may not be having your normal schedule at work. Maybe you're not working at all. Your kids are at home, okay? Try to keep the same schedule that they would have had at school. Try to keep the same schedule as much as you can, guys, that you would have had at work. So if you had to be at work by 7 a.m., make sure you're still getting up at 5:30 in the morning every morning. I promise you guys, staying in a routine is going to help your stress levels, and when all this is over and life normalizes, you're going to want to have that same routine, okay? Because if you normally get up at 5:30 for work and now you're not getting up until 10, you are going to struggle when it's time to go back to work or when it's time to take the kids back to school, okay? So make sure that you are practicing as closely as you possibly can the same routine that you had during, your normal schedule before all this chaos happened, okay?
And one last thing I want to say for myself about stress, the biggest thing that I always tell my clients, and this doesn't necessarily have to be a spiritual thing for you, and I know there's a lot of different belief systems out there. A lot of people have their own belief in whatever their own higher power is. All I want to say to that is sometimes a lot of these things that take place is just out of our control. And part of human nature is to try to control everything. Like, you want to see what you can do to right that wrong, or how can you change this, or what can you do to determine the outcome of something. And sometimes that's just beyond what you can do, right? And we don't want to admit it all the time. Sometimes it takes us a while to make the mess a bit more messier. Then we take a step back. Then we let whoever that higher power is for ourselves, or whatever it is for you, come in, clean it all up, and then we give thanks, right? So that's something you can do to take some stress off your shoulders, is to just stop trying to be in control of everything. Let things happen. Control how you respond to it, because you can respond in anger, you can lash out, you can respond in sadness, you can cry, or you can respond in happiness and just say, you know what, there's going to be another day. Yeah, there's going to be another day. I'm going to go on. I'm going to continue to do great things. I'm just going to be ready for the next opportunity. But again, you can't control everything. We always try to, myself included, Larissa, everyone. We all do it. But just remember, when you get into that time and you start to see, take a step back, take one of those deep breaths, and just let it all go and just control what you can control, which is how you feel and how you react to things.
Allow yourself to feel how you need to feel to get through this and to come out better because of it. Last thing I'm going to add as a stress reliever is to have your husband give you a massage. Okay, I'm moving on. That was just a little, hint there. Okay, the third pillar of wellness is going to be your sleep. Okay, so guys, this is incredibly important. You need 8 hours of sleep a night, and I know that there's a lot of people that say, well, I can survive off of 4, or I'm fine, I can fully function at 6. And the reality is there's still a lot of studies that show that you still need 8 hours of sleep a night.
Quality
8
hours. Quality 8 hours. Meaning, shut the phone off, allow yourself to really go into deep sleep, and let your mind and your body go to a full relaxation.
There's actually a lot of studies that show that women need more than men, so even more than 8 hours of sleep. So listen to your body, know what your body is able to do, but always shoot for that 8-hour range. If you are someone who struggles to get that high quality deep sleep, then one, we mentioned this, your nutrition is probably going to play a huge role if you have trouble falling asleep or staying asleep. If you make necessary changes to your nutrition as far as the timing that you're eating and the quality of foods that you're getting in, and you're still having trouble, then you can look into things, natural products like aromatherapy that may aid in your sleep. Herbs, there's certain herbs out there that can help the quality of sleep that you're getting, but you do need to get that high quality sleep, because guys, if you don't, your body is never going to enter into that healing period. And if you're not fully healing, then you're starting off the next day unprepared. You're starting off the next day still damaged, still worn out, still stressed, okay? Whatever you were feeling that day before, it's gonna carry on because your body didn't have time to rejuvenate itself, okay? So sleep is huge, guys. You do need high quality sleep. And during this time, the opposite side, I will say it is possible to get too much sleep, okay? So don't just sleep your days away. Try to be productive. Use those stress management skills that we talked about. Don't just sleep your days away. Do something purposeful during this time that's going to set you and your family up for better things in the future. Do you have anything else to add about sleep? Kind of straightforward.
Yeah, I like to use these analogies, and I like to tell people, recharging your batteries, and kind of like Larissa was finishing up there when she was saying your body is still gonna kind of have that wornness on it from the day before if you don't get that proper good quality sleep. So I always tell clients when I'm first initially sitting down with them is that, hey, you want to recharge those batteries. The importance of laying down, getting a fully good level of sleep, because you want to wake up, you want to make sure that your body first and foremost, and then your brain as well, is fully functional and processing information the way you need it to at a good quality manner, so that you can make good sound decisions. Because a lot of you always talk about how You know, well, I need to be able to do this for my children, or I have to do this for this. And I'm like, well, if you got all these decisions to make for everyone, you need to make sure that you're healthy and everything. So getting some good sleep, making sure that your brain and your body can perform at the level you need it to perform at is very, very crucial. So get some sleep.
Yep.
Turn the phones off, turn the TV off, put the magazines down, stop yelling at the kids, stop yelling at your spouse, whatever it is that you're doing. Just go to bed. Just close your eyes and relax and go to a happy place and just let your body get that proper rest that it needs, and you'll be much better for it.
Now, let us know, guys, how many hours of sleep are you getting right now? Like, what average number do you think that you get a night? And let us know in the comments, because we're hoping that you guys are all getting your 8 hours of sleep, but realistically, we know that a lot of you probably aren't. So let's make it a conscious effort to work on that this week.
One thing I would say is, because some people, we work jobs and maybe your schedule doesn't entail for you to lay down for 8 hours at night, but that's where those good naps come in. I'm gonna get a good nap after this video, to say the least. So if you can get a good 4 hours in the middle of the night or so, and then you can get a good 4 hours in the middle of the day, that's still essential as well, just so your body.
Better than not doing anything,
it's
right?
better than not doing anything. So you can get to sleep. You just gotta make the time and make it something that is a priority for you. And once you do it, everything that you think is a priority over getting to sleep is going to be even easier, even better to do. You're going to be better at it. Maybe you will be able to actually hit that goal next time around at the office, and now you can get that promotion at your job, and now you're making more money now because your brain and everything is working more snappier because you're well rested, and your brain can process information and respond to things in a more quick manner, and you can get things done.
Yep. All right, guys, last thing that's going to help you keep that quarantine 15 off.
And man, I hate to say it, because this is what we do. I mean, we sitting in the gym right now looking at all this equipment. I can't wait to get y'all back in here and, you know, put these beat downs on you again.
Physical activity, your fitness, guys, your fitness.
And it's the least important of these 4 things that we're talking about. Very, very crucial, mind you. It's the thing that can really jumpstart the whole process of everything, and I'm gonna get into that once we kind of get to the end of this, and I'm gonna talk to you about what I like to say all the time. But it's the least important. It's the physical manner of it. It's very important, like I just said, but at the same time, it's not as important as getting that proper amount of sleep, keeping those stress levels down, and getting the proper amount of foods in, because the foods that you're going to be getting in your body is going to help assist you with the physical manner, because now it can help you take those workouts up to a notch, give you more energy to actually want to go in the gym and perform those workouts and everything like that.
Yeah, guys, think of these 4 pillars of wellness like the legs on a table, okay? Like the 4 legs of a table. They all have to work with each other for that table to stand. If I'm working out and I'm hitting the gym 4 or 5 times a week, and I'm really challenging myself, and my stress levels are low, I'm really, practicing good stress management, and I'm sleeping, I'm getting good sleep. Did I say sleep? Stress? Mm-hmm. Sleep. 8 hours of sleep. Right, but let's say I'm still eating a bunch of processed foods, I'm drinking a lot of alcohol, I'm not getting enough water in. If I take one of those legs of the table away, the table is going to fall. It is the same concept with your body. If you take one of those components out of the equation, you are going to crash. Your body is not going to function the way that it needs to function. You are not going to get results. You will gain the quarantine 15, okay? All these things have to work together to provide optimal results, to provide that true health, healing, and wellness that we're referring to. So, like Nate was saying, our bodies were created and designed to move. Okay, so regardless if, you can get to the gym or not, you still were made to move. And there are so many things that you can do at home. If you don't have any idea what to do at home, we would love to help you. You can feel free to message us or comment below, and we will direct you to more information, or we will assist you in any way that we can. But you were designed to move. And even during this time, guys, you need to be moving more, because you got to think, a lot of times you would be at work, you would be, depending on what your job is, you may be walking wherever to the next meeting, or you're at least getting up out of your chair. And a lot of you guys aren't doing that at home right now. You're just sitting. and not doing much of anything. So we need to be even more aware of our movement during this time, okay? So don't just sit, guys. Don't just sit.
Yeah, and when it comes to exercise too, I mean, when we do our initial consultations, we like to take clients through a slight demo of some of the fundamentals that they're going to see, and it kind of helps us kind of see, hey, how strong is this client? What mobility do they have, and how flexible can they be? Can they keep their heels to the ground when they sit down in a chair? Because that's a squat. You guys do these fundamental movements every day. Now, the matter of you doing them right is a whole nother thing, but you do them every day. So I'm just saying that to say that never underestimate the power of something like a purposeful walk.
Mm-hmm.
Getting up and going to change the TV channel. Walking up and down stairs instead of just taking the escalator all the time or the elevators all the time.
There's
small things.
Something that's called the sitting disease, okay? And this is for people who sit all day long, or for people who work in an office that don't have a lot of movement when they're working. And there are studies that show that the effects of just sitting down all day are equivalent to smoking, I want to say, a pack of cigarettes. Don't quote me on that, but it was definitely smoking cigarettes and the ramifications that can do to your body.
Yeah,
so just doing something simple like going on a walk. In between meetings, if you just stretch, if you get up and you just kind of like do some of these movements where you're reaching across or you're touching your toes.
Allow your blood to circulate.
Doing
like
push-ups on your desk, guys. I'm talking about movements that do not break a sweat. If you just get up every, 30 minutes to an hour and you do a couple movements that are going to take you 2 minutes or less to do, you decrease your chance of heart-related conditions. It's silly not to do that.
So watch this. I'm sitting at my desk. A lot of you got desk jobs, right? I'm sitting at my desk and typing. 20, 30 minutes go past, right? Stop, I look at the clock, take a push back from the desk, and this is all I do. Every 20, 30 minutes.
Right there in your chair.
Driving through my heels, just pushing up. And this is a squat. Like I said, you guys do this every day. Now, no matter are you focusing and putting that pressure in the right areas where you're not going down on your toes, but you're going down through the back of your heels, or you keeping your knees pushed behind your toes at a 90-degree angle, everything like that. But you guys move and do these things every day. It's just a matter of doing them more and doing them properly. And that's where people like Larissa and myself come in, professionals. We are here to assist you with those kind of things. And they're very crucial, but they don't always have to be the most intense things. It's just the bare minimum. Sometimes it's much better than doing nothing at all.
That alone will decrease your chances of getting any heart-related type of disease. Just that. Every 30 minutes, guys. Every 45 minutes.
Stretch, let your blood circulate.
Exactly. That's what it goes down to, is that blood flow.
Just use your muscles and just stretch. Things like that. But I want to go ahead and kind of tie it all up now that we kind of we talked about nutrition, we talked about stress, we talked about sleep, and now we talked about exercise. And when we started with the exercise, I said that it's a jump starting. It can jump start the process, right?
Domino effect.
Again, with the consultation, this is something I like to wrap it up with and just kind of give the client a visual of what they can expect and how they can see this journey laying out and how it looks down the line for them, because it can be very intimidating. There's a lot of new changes to be welcomed in. There's accountability there. You don't want to fail. I know a lot of clients, I laugh at it all the time. They're, hey, sorry this, sorry that. And I'm like, hey, look, there's no problem. You're going to make mistakes. Just try to do better the next time around. And even if you make a mistake, it doesn't matter. We're all human. Just be conscious of it, which you are, which is why you're saying it to me. But again, you guys do that. So here it goes. Exercise, right? That's going to be the first thing that can kind of get you guys started off. This is how these four things can kind of work together. Exercise, that's the thing you can control most, right? You can't necessarily control what you're going to eat all the time, because maybe you're going too long in between foods and now your body is in more of a starvation mode and you just want to get something in. So that's going to take you some time to kind of curve that over, right? Sleep, maybe you're not accustomed to doing that and you just in such a routine now that you're going to have to be up and you're going to do things, so you're not going to initially change your sleep right off the bat. Even if you turn the phone off of you later, you might be up for a few hours.
It's going to take time for your body to adjust to these
and
other
stress
things.
That's going to be another one too. But however, Jumpstart with the exercise. That's something that you can control. You can get your body in the gym as much as you don't like it. That's where, again, a professional like myself and Larissa comes in, where we can be there to kind of push you through and make you do something that alone you wouldn't do for yourself. And that can kind of already start that process. And right off the bat, once you start exercising, you know what you're going to start to see a change in? Your stress levels. Right off the bat, like we said, exercise is one of the releases for stress. It's a way to relieve stress. So once you start to work out, going to the gym, you can even put the gloves on. We put them on with our clients sometimes, let them hit something, punch around. That makes them feel really good. But you're gonna immediately start to bring your stress levels down. So you're exercising, your stress levels are starting to come down. And now you know what that's going to do? It's going to cause you to want to get more sleep, because your body is going to now be tired, you're going to be exhausted, and your body is going to naturally want to call for you to start to get some rest, because it's going to need to recharge itself. Because if you don't do something on your own for a while, your body will shut down and naturally do it for you. And I don't care what that is. If you go too long without doing something that is crucial to your body would naturally do it for you, and it will be a horrible experience for you. So
getting sick.
Exercise, stress, now you're getting more sleep. And then the last thing to tie it all in is going to be that nutrition. That's going to be the hardest one, but after so long, once you're working out and you're burning calories in the gym, you're sweating and you're utilizing all that energy in the gym, and then your stress levels are starting to come down, you're getting a little bit more sleep. Now your body is going to, at some point, all the double cheeseburgers and the Taco Bell and whatever else it is that you're eating,
It's not going to like it.
yeah, your body isn't going to like that at a certain point. It's going to start to want to crave something more natural, something more replenishful to your body. And none of those things I named, those processed foods that are highly inflammatory, very low in nutrition, if any nutritional value to it at all, those things aren't going to add value to the body. It's not going to add quality. So your body is going to naturally, at some point, starting to want something that's a little bit more natural, something that has more vitamins, more nutrients to it. So that's how you can envision that process. You start with that exercise. You start to physically exhaust yourself. That's going to help you lower the stress levels. That's going to naturally exhaust you, want you to naturally get more sleep. And after a while, your body's going to naturally crave for something more nutritional, something more replenishable, something that is going to give your body more quality and more value.
Exactly. Couldn't have said it better myself, guys. So there is, those are the 4 pillars of wellness. That is how you can avoid the quarantine 15. All right, and that's how you can stay healthy for life, is keeping these 4 things in check. So let us know what areas you're working on, which ones you struggle with the most out of these 4 pillars of wellness, and how we can help you. So if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. And if you are watching this on replay, #replay, so that we know that you joined in. And thank you guys so much. We love spending our Tuesdays with you, and we look forward to next week. So thank you so much. This is Trainer Talk Tuesdays, and we will see you later. Bye.